First published.
1990, copyright 1988 by Thomas Wedge.
I knew it. See, that's right. When all that, like Geraldo Rivera was trying to do a show on that. That was a big thing going on right then. Was the claim that there were all these satanic murders going on and being covered up, and finally the FBI started investigating, and they found absolutely no evidence whatsoever of it, and they found that children were being coached in these so-called memories they were having of satanic abuse.
What do you mean, like kids on milk cartons, or which kids?
Kids that were testifying that supposedly the Satan worshippers had come and taken them to this island, and they'd had to witness these flesh-eating rituals and all this wild stuff. And the FBI found that the handful of people were really, kind of like coaching them to believe this stuff and to say this sort of thing. And they have never once found any evidence for any of that. And we know of no one who's ever done that. It was really just kind of a hoax that was ginned up in the late 1980s, and partly thanks to Geraldo Rivera, a real noted scholar.
Is it I'm sorry, is it okay if I read this a little?
That's just, before you even read that, that's why I wanted to know what year it was written. Because, that was right about the time when I was receiving my training initially as a priest and as a Wiccan priest. And we actually, the coven I belonged to, the high priest actually went on TV a few times there on the West Coast where I lived, and to kind of deal with those rumors and lies is what they were really. But they made some people a lot of money, like probably the authors of this book. So I'm sorry to kind of put that down like that, but that's really what was going on at the time.
Technically, you don't even know what I'm going to read, but it's.
Oh, I don't. But let me go ahead and let you read that. Go right ahead.
Interesting and articulate white witches, meaning good witches, who agreed to answer my questions were the husband and wife singing team who identified themselves as Kenny and Tripazora, or something of that nature. They were making a living as entertainers, mainstream folk musicians who sell to the general public. But Kenny adds that they were also Wiccan or pagan. Trapazora defines Wiccan as a wise one who shapes things. The Wiccan religion is based on natural cycles of the earth and all things related celestially. We work with seasons and phases of the moon with multiple facets of creating energy, which we term God and goddesses. Kenny interrupts his wife to give his definition of paganism in general. We worship the Creator, just like any Christian or Jew, but we see the Creator as all things as being both male and female, meaning androgynous. It's not written in, I'm just saying that. Since life was both created by male and female, we term the female aspect of creation of creation as the goddess, while the male aspect is the God. We do not see the goddess and the God as being above in the heavens, but being all around us in earth. Kenny says the difference between dark and white crafts is night and day. He adds, during the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church wanted to erase any religion that was not Catholicism. I just want to skip down. Our God has horns because he represents both people and horned animals. There are many names for our God, who is called in general terms the horned God. Many cultures with many languages knew him, so there are many names. Among them are Pan,
Cernunnos,
Mars. So you understand what this is saying. Mars, Zeus.
Yeah, and so far, he's right on everything. Yeah, I'd agree with all of that. I mean, I know.
We do not worship many gods, but rather one God and one goddess, which have many names. Now,
I'm sorry, read that part again.
It says we do not worship many gods, but rather one God and one goddess who have many names.
That's how a lot of Wiccans view it, yeah. And
Hey, Lex Will, real quick. Let me ask him, because that information came out is profound.
I know, right?
No. Let me ask you, Steve. Is Zeus one of these gods? Like when the ancient Romans and Greeks worshiped Zeus, would that be the pagan god Pan also?
That's what this book is saying.
No, I'm asking him if that's what he knows.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people would say that, but I think I personally, based on my experience and study, I think that's overgeneralizing. I think that, ultimately they're all one, but then ultimately all humans are one humanity, right? We're all one people. I mean,
but
practically identical. But yet there's different cultures, we have different names, we have different faces, So we're all one, but we're also different, and that's...
Yeah, but I'm asking you in specific, in ancient Rome, when they was worshiping Zeus, is that synonymous with Pan?
Sometimes they, in certain places, they worshipped, what they call them, like Hermes. I mean, there were certain places where they had, where they saw Hermes and Zeus as the same god, but most of the time I think they saw them as separate. They're closely tied to the astrological planets. Zeus is Jupiter, the planet Jupiter.
Yeah.
And
so I'm asking,
Mercury, Hermes is...
One of the gods, let me ask you in another way. Is Zeus one of the gods that you acknowledge today?
We don't really call him Zeus, although that name comes from Deus, that same universal term, Diao, Iau, that was about earlier.
Because I know that Jesus, the word Jesus, actually comes from Zeus too.
Yeah, it comes from the same root. Yeah. And it's all that universal name, that universal vowel spectrum, as we call it.
But what I want to ask you,
we often do pray and do spells to Jupiter, the astrological planet, which we do see as a god. Most of us, we see the planets as animated by
the reason
as
I'm
gods.
Real quick, and I'll yield, is because I wanted to put that out there when that Zeus popped out at me, and I did the research. Come to find out, the Roman Catholics under Constantine, that they actually changed Christ's name to Zeus. That was a deity that was in ancient Rome. That because there was no J's in the Hebrew language. So I want to put that out there that whether
I think to them it was a Yehoshua.
Yeah, some say Yehoshua. The ancient is Yeshaya, but there was no J's. That's why when you speak to Spanish people, you ask them, well, what's Jesus' name? They say Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's really synonymous with the same God of the pagan.
Well, the word origin is, yeah.
I just need to hit that part. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna turn it back over. Go ahead, Lex.
Hold up. Let's just on hold real quick. We have another caller from the UK coming in. We have Brother Josh on. Brother Josh, can you hear me?
Shalom. Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, brother. I'm hearing you. Go through. You have a question or a comment, real quick?
Both really. I'm gonna have to talk pretty quickly because my battery on my phone is about to die. So I just want to run through this little bit of information that I have here in front of me, what I've just been writing down as I've been listening to the show. Now, could I ask Steve, just before I go through this quickly, have you heard of Madame Blavatsky?
Oh, Madame Blavatsky, yes. Yeah, there's a controversial figure.
Okay, well, just for the benefit of the listeners, her full name is Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Yeah.
Petrovna, yeah.
Now, okay, she was a witch. She lived during the time of 1831 to 1891.
She would not have a witch.
Pardon?
She would not have called herself a witch.
Okay, maybe so, but according to my research, I found out that she dealt with the occult, and
yes.
she's the founder of the Theosophical Society.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, now, what she's really responsible for, in layman's terms, is bringing these different segments of Satanism together to unify them. Because the Bible itself tells us that there's many gods in the earth, and all the gods of the nations, and nothing but idols. That's what the Bible tells us. Now, if you actually look at this society in particular, the seal that they've incorporated with it, yeah? Now, let me describe this, yeah? Imagine you've got the Star of David. That's the center of the seal, yeah? Inside of the Star of the David, you've got an anchor, which is the cross with, like, the circle bit on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the middle of the Star of David, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, around the star, you've got a Ouroboros. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, very sacred symbol, ancient, yeah.
Which is a snake, which is a highly satanic symbol. And
no,
it
not at all. It represents eternity. It's like cycles.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It actually represents procreation as well.
It has a lot of meanings. You can even see it on your computer when a Java program is running.
Yeah.
Little circle going around eating itself. It represents time and eternity, which consumes itself.
Exactly. It's philosophy. That's what it is. A lot of people could attach a lot of different things to it. Yeah. This is my point at the top. Let me just get this out. So, like I said, my battery's gonna die here, so I do apologise if I'm speaking over you. At the top of this seal, you've got a symbol called Aum. Have you heard of that? It's a seal that the Hindus use.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, my point is, in this seal, they've thrown a lot of things together, and this is this is the symbol that we can hold alongside the Theosophical Society. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this organization was formed in 1875. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, yeah. It's the spiritual principles and search for truth. This is where the word theosophical comes from. It comes from the Greek word theosophy. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now,
knowledge of God, I
theosophy...
believe.
Pardon?
I think it means, theo means God or deity, and sophos means knowledge, I think, if I've got it right.
Wisdom, exactly. The goddess Sophia, who you can find in the Gnostics.
That's
yeah?
It, yeah.
Okay, and it comes from... Now, theosophy actually comes from... It's a system, esoteric philosophy. This is where it comes from. You can attach alchemy to it, astrology, yeah? Spiritualism, Satanism. Now, this is my point. This is the point I want to make before my phone goes dead. Yeah, we can go to and fro talking about good witches and bad witches, and what sort of pagan establishment people out there in today's day and age are attached to. But it's got a head, and the head of all these societies, yeah, there is sat a God who is diverting all worship to himself. Yeah, and this God is what we know in the Bible as Lucifer, Satan, yeah? But let me tell you, Satan is just the title, yeah? There's Satans in this earth today, and these Satans in the earth today, notice that plural, are the evil spirits that are caught up in this world, who we know, according to the Bible, have proceeded, yeah, from the bodies of giants, according to Genesis chapter 6 in the Bible. So until we know the origins of these gods that we're following, we shouldn't be following them.
Well, who are you going to believe, though? I mean, I don't believe a bunch of scribes who had an agenda, and their agenda was to trash everybody else's religion. And I also know for a fact that there is no Satan running Theosophy or Wicca or anything else like that.
Now,
let me,
do you know what? Can I just say as much?
Josh, let me say something real quick, and I want and I'm gonna let you come back in, Josh, because this is what I want Steve to understand, and maybe he'll take this back with him a little bit. You have to realize, Steve, and I'm not here to preach to you tonight because we really brought you on the back of this minister who didn't know that Christianity foundation is paganism. But I want to say something. You have to realize that